welcome back. My name is Nick, and I have Kyle here with me. Pecos with a 0 on Instagram. He's a super talented artist. He also helps designs our cool shirts that we make on AsArt.space. This is Audi's shirt from the show Severance. We have a Gallivespian shirt from His Dark Materials. We're going to be doing stuff on Dune and other fun stuff, so go to AsArt.space to get all the shirts. And we covered tons of His Dark Materials, from deep dives with the Harpies, Land of the Dead, Mrs. Coulter, John Perry, Lord Asriel, Gallivespians, Mulafa, you name it, Mary Malone, I'm Lyra. There's so many people we've covered already. And we do reviews on the shows. We answer your comments. So subscribe, watch all the cool His Dark Materials stuff. And today, Kyle, who's our special guest?
Iorek Byrnison.
Yeah.
The Panserbjørn himself.
So let's just jump right into it.
Yep. Okay. So honestly, like, Iorek has some of the more tasty, like, biography stuff that happened before the books, which is kind of cool. So, all right. So Iorek is royalty. Mm-hmm. So he was the heir to the throne of Svalbard, right? Which is the bear, like the
Bear Kingdom.
Yeah. So he fought against Hjalmar Hjalmarsson in a ritual of dominance to win over a female bear, right? Now, however, the other bear had been drugged and would not back down when he was defeated. So what happened was this led to Byrnison killing the bear, which is strictly forbidden in that sort of fight, right? So he was condemned to exile, basically. And I believe it is hinted at in the books that Iofur Raknison was the orchestrator of this drugging of the bear, right? So that he could become eligible for kingship. So after his exile, on April 15th, April 1962, Byrnison met Lee Scoresby for the first time. Hey! Together they helped H. Van Breda to defy Larsen Magnus by removing his cargo from their warehouse and leaving the island. So the pair then escaped in the aeronaut's balloon. So the first balloon ride of the dynamic duo.
Yeah.
And basically after this, like, information's very sparse on this, but after that they continue to go on other adventures. And would continue, like, link up and, like, it was good, share a brewski. So by 1997, Iorek Byrnison was working for the citizens of Trollesund, right? So having been deceived when they gave him alcohol and took his sky iron armor while he was intoxicated, right? So after the citizens had tricked him, Iorek went into, like, this rampage. So, like, he was trying to find his armor. He was destroying buildings and even killing at least 2 people. So, like, the townspeople would have shot him if they didn't want him for his skill in metalworking. Being a Panserbjørn. So the townspeople made him work every day, made him promise to work until sunset, and then gave him his pay in food and spirits behind Inarisson's bar. So basically keeping him a drunkard, just enough to where he could be an adequate blacksmith, right? So they told him that he would continue to work for them until he had been punished enough for killing 2 men and destroying those several buildings I mentioned. Although Lyra thought they'd probably never let him out, which I agree.
Yeah.
They're gonna milk that cash cow for as long as they can. So now that kind of leads us up to when Lyra met him, right?
Yes.
Now we're going to flash forward to after the Authority War, so after the events of the books. So Iorek led his subjects to the Alps in Europe, right? So if you remember, I think in the books also he led his bears to the Himalayas as well. And they started exploring, but they're like, nah, we don't like it here, and came back. And so, like, they tried again. He led his subjects to the Alps. But, like, eventually they sailed back to Svalbard as they found it was impossible to live in the Alps, as, like, the very snow was different to them.
Yeah, and then they're just so used to, like, water hunting and stuff too, and they're like, oh,
it's a different ecosystem.
You have to learn how to hunt. It's different and all that stuff. So
yeah. Also, and this is also as a side note, when Will confronts and meets Iorek for the first time, Iorek is with his bears migrating to the Himalayas. As Lord Asriel's window changed the climate of Svalbard. Yep. Like the ice was melting and stuff.
And weren't rivers even going upstream that were going downstream? And stuff like that
there was
too?
Like weird stuff going on. Yeah. High strangeness, we might say. And so in terms of powers and abilities, so all right, he's got a lot. So first off, he's a Panserbjørn, and that comes with a lot of extra good stuff. So he has enhanced strength, enhanced speed and stamina. He can run at a dead sprint for hours without tiring. He has enhanced durability. He's practically invulnerable with the sky armor.
Yeah.
Right. And when it's equipped, and then with exception to the subtle knife.
Yeah, which
as with
cuts
pretty
like
much everything.
butter.
Right. Yeah. And then he has enhanced dexterity. Remember, he has opposable thumbs.
Yeah.
He's a bear with opposable thumbs. That sounds like a nightmare to me in real life. Like, imagine that.
Yeah.
They're capable of
opening doors,
complex tools. Yeah.
It's like Jurassic Park. Remember when the dinosaurs opened up the door?
They're learning. And then of course he has cold resistance, being a polar bear, right? And then he's a skilled combatant.
Yeah.
Right. He has plenty of battlefield experience. He's an expert blacksmith and craftsman.
Yeah.
He reforged the subtle knife,
which is huge.
And then I added this on top of this because I would say he's got, and it's an unspoken skill of his because it's he kind of how he describes things like materials and stuff. He has what I call material insight. He's a true materialist in that it's not like he like gathers things because they look nice. He's like he can see into the inner being of what
the knife
an object or being is, and suss it out in his blacksmithing, which is really, really neat.
He already knew that the knife had its own motive. Just by looking at it, kind of thing.
Like he refers to the knife as like a conscious, almost a conscious being, right? Which is so awesome. And then of course, like a Panserbjørn's armor is also their demon.
Ah.
So like I think that's another thing, right? That kind of plays into that. So yeah, and that's about it for Iorek.
Yeah, I mean,
not a whole lot, but like it's about quality, not quantity with Iorek,
It's true, and they did a pretty good job with where he's supposed to appear in the books. They only cut out 2 moments really, and they added like 1, but they cut out the moment when he eats Lee, Scoresby basically, and they also cut out him in the authority battle, which is a huge part of the books and
that actually has a couple, several different things happening. He sees Lee Scoresby's ghost.
Yeah, he sees Lee Scoresby's ghost. Yeah.
Kind of awkward considering he ate his body.
Yeah. He's like, I don't remember pooping you out. And then he basically gets caught in a net by like horse creatures and stuff like that. He lets like Will and Lyra ride his back to get to where they need to be with their demon, all that good stuff. And then the scene they added was when he interacted with Lord Asriel, when basically he gave the information to Lord Asriel where Lyra and Will went to the land of the dead. Basically, in the show, they cut out a lot of the information coming from the alethiometer readers in the book and kind of gave that to characters for more screen time, I guess, or something like that. But basically, they're like, don't need the alethiometrist. We'll just have Iorek tell him because he can't lie apparently now, and he needs to know this info very much. And it's just like you put him there and not the war, but it makes sense because the battle was nothing like the battle in the books.
Right.
It was almost a polar opposite kind of thing, but
yeah,
that's basically that's the bear. That's our homie. That's Lyra's best friend.
Pretty much.
She loves him so much, and we love him too. He's one of our favorite characters for sure in the story. Right up there, underneath the Galavespians. Galavespians #1 here on this channel. But
let's not forget the pecking order. Yes.
But go to Instagram, Pecos with a 0. Kyle's there. He's a super talented artist. He does great artwork for us here for shirt stuff and also just his own creativity. He has a cool sci-fi thing going on. If you're into sci-fi, go check it out. I'm not going to say more. Go check it out. He has a lot comment that you're from AsArt too, so he knows. And if you go to AsArt.space, we have audio, video links, and also our merch. And we've been covering a lot of his Dark Materials. We're jumping on to Dune. We have read the Dune books.
Back on that horse.
Really excited for the second Dune movie to be coming out at the end of the year. And we're also excited for Severance and also Succession. So there's some shows we're getting ready for. We want to do deep dives and really get into the content. So subscribe to get all the updates, and we'll see you on the next AsArt. No, it's more like roar, I'm a bear, roar, not yarr. What's up, pirate? Yarg.
You know,